All right, so today we're focusing again on critical thinking. This is part 2 of the video, and our goal is to look at all of these different components within critical thinking in addition to inference for critical reading. Keep in mind that facts are statements that can be verified, okay? True or false. So just be mindful of that, right? Okay. In terms of facts, keep in mind also that there are ways to prove whether or not the information is valid or falsified. Okay, so think about the sources that you can use, such as statistics or observation that will help pretty much identify a true or false statement. Now, opinions are all based on your feelings, okay? So you're looking at keywords to help identify that. What keywords that tends to be used are like adjectives, for instance, or words of uncertainty. Words of uncertainty consist of the following that expresses some kind of opinion, okay? So words like maybe or possibly, of course, in my opinion, right? Apparently, or all information, right? So you've got to be careful of those kind of phrases or words because, again, it will express an opinion. Now let's look at these choices. Think about which one indicates a factual statement, which sentence or sentences rather states an opinion. Stop the video to look at the sentences, and that will help you in reference to identifying the fact versus opinion. Very good. As you see, okay, we can prove that George Washington was the first president. Okay, for number 2, keywords such as most respected, right? Okay, again, that is showing once again that the statement is an opinionated statement because they're talking about the most. All right, they're exaggerating. Home Depot is a better, right? Similar to the superlative that you see here, most. Better is another example of that. All right, how can you prove that? Okay, now for 4, in terms of Richard Gere, you can prove that he was one of the stars. You can read it, you can find it elsewhere. Okay, now think about the best definition for opinionated statement. Again, take some time to pause the videos from time to time to respond to the questions, okay, so you can have that interactiveness. You should have answered B, okay? A statement that expresses feelings, attitudes, or beliefs, all right? Remember that because, again, you might see this on Monday. Identifying office purpose, okay? We are accustomed to office purpose being the same type of, information or entertaining, expository. So it's important that you know that that there are different types of office purposes. So just be mindful of that, okay? So if you look here in terms of, giving facts, for instance, that might help you in terms of just making sure that you look for those key words, okay? If you are persuading, again, looking for those keywords will help you. But here is a plethora of different types of purposes that authors tend to convey within their essay. Take some time to look it over. So now we're going to practice a little bit in terms of really just identifying, do we know what persuasion means? Do we know what giving advice entails? Do we understand, criticizing? Okay, so look at the choices. There will be a total of 5. So look at it carefully, and then we'll go over the answers. And our last question. All right, now for numbers 1 and 2, okay? Number 1 is an advice because they're saying the best approach, right? If you're looking for this, then the best thing to use would be this. They're giving a suggestion, right? They're giving you some advice. For number 2, okay, good judgment comes from experience. So the author is alluding, he's getting to a point where, you know what, let me tell you about this experience that I had, when I made this bad judgment or what have you. So he's going to get into particular storyline. Number 3 is informing you. This author is giving you factual information. Okay, they're just telling you it prescribes, the Constitution of the U.S. prescribes a separation of powers among the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government. So again, that's informing. Number 4, what keywords or word suggest that you're persuading that person? Right. So enjoying the benefits, right? Okay. And then you're also saying you're getting free admission and discounts as well. So think about that in terms of when you're trying to purchase a car, the salesman is trying to persuade you in some way, shape, or form. Criticize, right, is the answer for number 5. It's the last answer, or choice rather. Ill-advised plan. So that person is saying, you know what, it's not a good plan, and it creates a negative effect, right? So those keywords, again, triggers that the author is giving some kind of critical or critique on a particular topic. Okay? Which of the following is not a writer's purpose? You should have selected to use facts only. To use facts only can be applied to anything, okay? So you can put facts in a story, you can put facts in persuading something, or, of course, to inform. So that is not the purpose of an author. So for our next video, we'll be focusing on evaluating tone, so be on the lookout for that as well.